Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas, at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na! Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas, sa Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba, dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag-3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na. MPBL na. Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino Visayas at Mindanao. Ang bawat laban ay nakakakaba dahil sa husay ng bawat isa. Sigawan ay yumayanig kapag nag 3 points na. Bawat bayay di patatalo, buong barangay ay suportado. Kahit ano ang mangyari, sama-sama tayo. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. Sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL, Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Bawat bayan ay sumasaya kapag may labay nagkakaisa. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, basketball na. Ang bawat labay pinaghahandaan, kaya yumayanig ang bakbakan. Todo suporta ang lahat sa kanya-kanyang kupunan. Basketball na muna tayo, iwasan na ang mga bisyo. Sports ang laging iisipin, sa droga ay huwag paalipin. Buong bansa'y magsama-sama. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, MPBL na! MPBL na! Yan ang liga ng bawat Pilipino, sa Luzon, sa Visayas at Mindanao. MPBL.
Asa si Jeff?
Ayan na, narinig ko na siya. Thank you.
Jeff? Jeff?
Yep. Hey.
Okay na, coach?
Hey, check, check. Hey, sound check.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Check 1, 2.
New York Knicks.
Better.
Okay na?
Better.
Okay. scoop shot. Nag-best player siya.
Oh! Justin Baltasar!
Casino. The trailer is Chris Lalata. Who gives us a throwdown? 2 seconds left. Fuentes.
Oh my
goodness.
Near the logo, Miguel Fuentes!
It is another beautiful day for Philippine basketball as we are down to the last 16 teams in the MPBL's 6th season. We now present to you our playoffs as we come to you live from the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center in the city of San Juan. That masked man is Greg Zilla of Manila SB Batang Sampaloc, the number 4 seed in the North Division. They will take on Caloocan Batang Canculu as the number 5 seed in the North. There's Gabby Espinas, the former foe of Greg Slaughter in the PBA. Now they will butt heads here in the playoffs of the MPBL. Manila versus Caloocan will be our first matchup, to be followed by the number 1 seed in the North. The San Juan Knights will take on the Rizal Golden Coolers for our second game. Thank you for joining us, folks. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Coach Mike Perez. Now, Coach Mike, we already showed Greg Slaughter and itong si Gabby Espinas kanina lang, no? How important will the inside battle be for this series?
I think it's going to be very important, lalo na sa side ng Caloocan. Given na yung bigs nitong Manila, but how do you defend against them? How do you execute against it without fouling? Because Manila is really good when it comes to the line. And more importantly, again, another focus for Caloocan, 3-point makes. Isa yan sa magandang weapons ng Manila. Pag hindi gumagana ang out inside nila, they go to the 3.
That being said, Greg Slaughter is number 1 in the league in terms of fouls received. And he has a teammate in Tonino Gonzaga who's on number 2 in the entire MPBL in terms of 3-point percentage. Let's see if they can step up and try to use that advantage against Caloocan Batang Canculu. But now we have our courtside reporter present for today in Mika Abesamis, who has more to tell us about Gabby Espinas and Greg Slaughter.
The Phil Oil Eco Oil in San Juan is just about ready for 2 big things today. The start of the playoffs and, of course, the matchup of our bigs in Greg Slaughter and Gabby Espinas. Greg Slaughter, as you mentioned, is wearing a mask today because of an unfortunate incident, but he is happy that the mask actually made it today because it wasn't very easy to make one for a big guy like him in the Philippines. Para naman dito sa ating veteranong 42-year-old na si Gabby Espinas, wala daw siyang ginawa para sa series na to kung hindi magpakondisyon. At excited na akong ikwento yan sa inyo maya-maya lamang sa ating player matchup. And Coach Mike.
Well, after all, let me give you the numbers of Gabby Espinas last September. He's been averaging 14 points and 8 rebounds per game. Well primed for this series against Greg Slaughter, who, as Mika mentioned, is wearing a mask. Normally, it takes 7 days to get a mask in the Philippines. He only took 2 days in order to be prepared with that mask for this series. But now we present to you our bracket in the North and the South Division.
Well, you can see right there, it's really how these teams will be performing. And in particular, para dito sa Manila versus Caloocan, this series is going to be very important for both teams because you want to finish the series early so that you get enough rest. And because as you go up, the stakes become higher.
So everybody is well informed. Game number 2 will happen at the San Andres Sports Complex home court po ng Manila SV Batang Sampaloc kontra sa Batang Canculu. But now let's talk about the previous playoff appearances of Manila. And this is a team with rich history already. Back in the Datu Cup, they finished as one of the top teams in the North Division. They lost to the finals of the North, eventually to the national champions, the San Juan Knights. And then in the next season, they lost to Makati, who, by the way, was led by a player who is now currently a part of Manila. That is Josh Toralba. I remember covering one of those games. Nakashoot si Josh Toralba ng big-time three-pointer. That was supposed to be the game clinching or the series clinching shot for Makati, but it wasn't counted. Eventually, they still won in overtime courtesy of the great performance of Joseph Cedurica. But now he is representing SV Batang Sampaloc as they take on Caloocan Batang Canculu, who on the other end also has some rich history in our MPBL noong 2018-2019 sa Datu Cup. Almon Pusotros pa ang kanilang star player. They lost to Bataan in the first round, and then in the 5th season of the MPBL, that was just last year, they had Gabby Espinas at the helm. They lost to Balti Batazar and company in the second round of the North Division. But one thing is good for them this season, and that is the emergence of Jeremy Cabanag.
That's right.
Who is now their leading scorer.
That's right. And Jeremy is going to be a key part. Remember, we talked about interior action para dito sa Caloocan, but somebody's got to shoot it from the outside, and so it helps also spread the defense interior para dito sa Manila.
Now, Jeremy Cabanag scored 11 points in their first meeting this season. That was actually the first game of Caloocan in the 6th season of the MPBL. Marami na naging pagbabago para umabot sila sa kalagayan nila ngayon. The result was 69-66 in favor of Manila.
Yan, napakaganda ng laban na yan. 15 lead changes, 5 yung ties, tapos lumamang ang Caloocan for almost the entire quarter, lalo na with that combined good start of Real and Jeramer. 13 of the 19 points in the first quarter really started it off. Pero Manila ang tindi nung pagkakatapos nila ng fourth quarter. They scored 28 points, 16 of those coming from CBC and Enzo Navarro, respectively. Pero pag makita mo dito, it really matters yung 3-point mix ng Manila, and yung paint control, as usual, we know it's going to be Caloocan.
They even had DJ Mitchell back in the day, hit 4 threes versus Caloocan, but now he's not available anymore. They do have Tonino Gonzaga, among others, representing Manila. Now we turn you over to Miguel Pre to get things going for game number 1 between Manila and Caloocan.
Quarterfinal series in the North Division between Manila and Caloocan. Here are the starters. Beginning with the 4th seed, Manila SV Batang Sampaloc SGA. Starting at guard number 25, Renzo Navarro. Also at guard number 13, Mike Tolomia. Forward number 31, Josh Toralba. Also at forward number 15, James Sena. And starting at center, number 20, Greg Zilla Slaughter. Their head coach is Ariel Vanguardia. Assistant coaches Paulo Layug, Ren Noriega, Max Dayandante, and Tino Pinat. Team consultant is Charles Chu. Team managers are Neil Arce and Ado Salazar. Team governor is Joey Simanes. Team owners are Raymond Ang and Emilio Chu. Now, the starting 5 for the 5th seed in the North Division, the Caloocan Batang Kakalo. Starting at guard, number 4, Irvin Palencia. Also at guard, number 7, Jeremy Cabanag. Small forward, number 12, Josh Flores. Power forward number 5, Ronnie Matias. And at center number 27, Gabby Espinas. The head coach for the Batang Kakalo is Toto Dohilio, assisted by Peter Santamaria. Team manager is Mac Robert Dichandu. Team governor is Jeremy Tin. Team owners are Dennis Flores and Honorable.
Presenting our starters, brought to you by Sports Max, powered by PlayMax, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL. Win to the max. We have Enzo Navarro with Mike Tolomia, Greg Slaughter, James Sena, and Josh Toralba for Manila. And then it's Irvin Palencia with Jeremy Cabanag, Gary Espinas, Josh Flores, and Ronnie Matias for Caloocan Batang Kakalo. This is game number 1 of the MPBL's 6th season playoffs. And we will feature 2 premier big men in our beloved league. Jumping it off, Greg Zilla versus Gabby Espinas. First possession belonging to Manila SV Batang Sampaloc.
Ito magiging importante ito kung paano magiging early defense dito ng Caloocan against that inside action. And immediately, you immediately go to your strength to test how they figure it out, but it seems it's easier said than done.
I did mention Greg Slaughter is the most fouled player in the entire MPBL, averaging 6 fouls drawn per outing. So that's number 1 for him, and 2 points immediately as well for Greg Slaughter, who averages 15.7 for Manila this season. That's good for number 5 in the entire MPBL.
And you know what? If Greg Slaughter gets that ball really that close inside the paint and you foul him, you know, consider mo na napuntos yan because he's really good free throw shooter at 80% per game.
And for Gabby Espinas, one of his goals should be staying in the game.
Right. You know, it's going to be very important for him to stay in the game. Again, babalik tayo dun sa usapan kanina. Foul without defend without fouling. So you have to stay in the game if you're Gabby Espinas.
Here's Gabby with the leather. Up top they go to Irvin Palencia. Palencia attacking and feeding. Josh Flores wide open. Too strong. Rebound to Lomia.
And those are shots that they really have to make because it generates closeouts and spreads out the defense all the more para dito sa Manila.
There's a foul drawn by Manila on that supposed attack by Tolomia, who's only playing his 5th game this season.
Yep.
For Batang Sampaloc, this is a team that has featured a lot of changes. There's a wild statistic here. Only 7 players have played 20 or more games this season for Manila. As this is a block by Josh Toralba. What a rejection.
And you were talking about Josh Toralba being part of Manila now. And more than the points and anything, it's the intangibles. Yung pulso na binibigay niya sa laro and the energy. Look at that block by Josh Toralba.
Well, at the beginning of his campaign this season, he told me that he feels like he's at his peak. That, of course, includes his athleticism, as now, unfortunately, he's called for a hold.
But it sure looks like it kung paano naglalaro si Josh Toralba ngayon. Ramdam mo yung diin sa bawat laro niya, both on offense and in defense. And it rubs off on his teammates. It gives them a lot of energy and it gives them a lot of lift.
Let's see that hold. There you go.
Yeah.
There was a push by Flores that he tried to argue was supposed to be a charge.
That's right.
Walk.
And James was contesting na naka 0 foot pa siya bago magpito. And so you gotta let go of that and move the next play.
2.5 minutes gone by. We've seen 5 total points scored so far. Irvin Palencia bringing it down. Defended by Navarro. This is Jeremy Cabanag off of his miss. He misses again. Rebound Slaughter.
Well, isa na yan sa mga rhythm na kailangan makuha talaga ni Jeremy Cabanag. He really is a floor spacer para dito sa Caloocan.
And speaking of floor spacing, how about James Sena being a stretch 4 for Manila?
Yeah, and James Sena knocking down shots from the outside is going to help the cause. And why not? He's a 33% three-point shooter. So, James, whenever you're free, go take it.
Unfortunately, he's called for a foul on the other end as Gabby Espinas was trying to seal against him. This is a replay of James Sena able to convert against the outstretched arms of Gabby Espinas.
Ano naman nagpapahirap rin dito sa Manila pag kinover mo. We talk about floor spacers. They actually have 8 players that shoot above 32% from threes. And napakalaking bagay niya, lalo na sa mga big men nila, because it makes life a little bit easier. And you love that Jeramer knocks down that perimeter jump shot, trying to get things going for himself.
And he really has to get going because in the last 5 games, after the All-Star day, Cabanag has only been averaging 5 points per outing.
Yes, it clearly has been a struggle in last 5 games. And James tries it once more time, but this time he misses.
On the other end we go. Palencia crosses. Palencia will miss. Rebound Sena.
Oh, hindi makakonvert on those point-blank shots. You have to make it. Yung mga pagkakataon na nakascramble yung defense, you try to take advantage without Greg inside at babalik ka ulit sa matchup. Yung height matters really talaga in the game of basketball, especially if you have a big, powerful guy like Greg Slaughter down there in the paint, trying to patrol it and create off of it.
Slaughter was arguing that he got elbowed. And so there will be a review as of this moment. There you see Coach Toto Dohilio. He's been a long-time coach of Caloocan. Even though Coach Alex was the head coach at the start of this season, he was there as an assistant. So nothing much has changed for Batang Kalu.
I think both coaches are actually came in latter part of the season. Even Coach Ariel. But Javi and I covered that game against Zamboanga, and we saw really a different kind of Manila team, especially defensively.
Let's see the action between Matias and Slaughter. Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
There's the elbow that he was arguing for.
Right.
Now, what will the call be against Ronnie Matias? That would be his second foul. We'll be listening in to Miguel Perey.
Upon review, a sportsmanlike foul on number 5, Ronnie Matias. That's his first foul.
All right, so let's check that. It's only his first foul, but it is an unspo.
So again, you're sending Greg to the free throws. Normally, itong Manila, they get approximately, I think, 17 points per game from the free throw alone. And they get 24 tries out of it. So pretty good free throw shooting team itong Manila.
And Slaughter himself is number 2 in the league in free throw shooting, supposedly, at 82% efficiency. But he missed his first gimme. Here's the second one for Greg Zilla, his 3rd in the ball game. 2 out of 3 so far. He got 4 points in total for him.
I was going to say, iba naman talaga pag nag-free throw ka habang may mask ka. Siguro nakakailan rin yun. Maybe a part of it.
I did ask him about the vision, and he said, wala namang problema sa vision. He just feels like he has a bigger nose because of that mask. Slaughter inside. It's called traveling. No foul, and Slaughter wants a review.
Yeah, everybody wants a review of this, both Enzo and Greg.
And will Coach Ariel give him that? Yes, he's signaling for a challenge.
He wants a challenge to it.
But is he too late? It seems like it. We will push through. We have referee Benjo Estroga explaining things to the coaching staff of Manila. Cabanag will bring it down. Screen by Espinas. Jennifer bounces. Gabi. Turnover. Manila on the run. Mike Tolomia. On to the other end. It's Enzo Navarro. Misfiring. Ball tapped. And recovered by Toralba. Navarro. Back to Mike. Inside they go to Greg Zilla. Cross court. That's too high. And Navarro stepped out of bounds.
That one's too high of a pass para kay Greg. But the thing is, kay Greg kasi pag nandun, kita mo lahat no? At that vantage point. But really just medyo mataas yung pasa na yun.
It is currently 7-4 with 4.5 minutes gone by in the first quarter. Palencia escapes. Irvin feeds. Matias lost the ball. But apparently it was tapped away by Toralba. And
so dun mo nararamdaman na it's not that easy to be getting inside the paint. Irvin had a shot. He didn't take it. Kanina nagkaroon ng shot sa ilalim. I think that was Flores, pero nahirapan rin to take that attempt.
Now Jory Napoles has checked in for Manila. This is his 4th game in our campaign. After he spent some time in the PBA, this is Josh Flores converting.
Josh Flores!
Well, they're gonna need everyone else to be contributing. It has to be total team effort for Caloocan if they want to come up with a win in this very first game.
Those are the first 2 points of Josh, who does average 6 per outing. Toralba misfires, rebound Flores, forward to Palencia.
You have to push it. You got to take advantage of the defense scrambling.
Nice fakes by Palencia. Now they go to Cabanag, catch and shoot. Short, ball tapped by Espinas, recovery for Manila. And the challenge by Cabanag in order to stop that fast break opportunity for Greg Slaughter.
Yeah, pero kita mo yung effort na nilundag para lang to get a deflection and to try to allow his teammates to come down and help him defensively.
Enzo Navarro now attacking 1-2. That's tapped away by Palencia.
Doon mo makikita talaga yung utak ng guardia nito ni Enzo Navarro. You wait straight to the middle, drove the middle, stayed in the lane, no action from any weak side at all, so he decides to go in and try and attempt a shot.
Well, after all, Navarro does average 6.5 points per game as well.
Right?
Oh, that's a steal by Palencia, and he had to be stopped by Enzo Navarro. He just snatched that ball away from Greg Zilla. That's 2 now on Navarro, who will be replaced by Puroy Cantimbuhan.
Yeah, and your coaches would always tell you, try to steal off spins. Right there, nasa spin side on the baseline, si Greg Slaughter, very good timing by Urban Palencia for that steal.
Palencia will now get a well-deserved breather as Achi Inigo checks in for the first time.
Now this is going to be a good one too with Achi inside.
Achi is currently number 3 in the league in assist-to-turnover ratio.
There you go.
Cabanag,
Yeah.
a 3-pointer.
Good mask of a high stagger, ending up with a low baseline side cut by Jeremer Cabanag. And I like that he actually does catch and shoot. Without hesitation, you just let it fly.
So now he has 5 points.
Right.
Matching his average in the last 5 outings. 9-7. CBC will fire. That short rebound, Napoles.
Oh, man.
A miss though by Manila. And now we have Caloocan with possession. Inigo. Now to Flores. They go to Jeremer. Heat check. Yes, sir.
If you're Caloocan, you cannot afford to be indecisive. The moment you see somebody free, you gotta let it go. And if you're that guy that's discarded, you gotta let it fly and trust the preparation that you did, exactly how Jeremy Hertz has done in his last 2-3 makes.
It is now 12-7. High-low, intercepted by Gabby Espinas. No foul, recovery for Gabby. How about the 42-year-old giving his all?
Right.
Ronnie Matias, the spin and the feed. Inigo kicks it out. Flores, in and out. Espinas is gassed. This is a 4-on-5. Inigo will miss. But there's still the effort from Caloocan.
Yep, agree. I mean, if the game were to end at this point, you like what Caloocan is doing. I mean, they're poised to winning this game. The effort and all, indecisiveness, corner threes at that. Jeremer moving without the ball, finding the open man. And you cannot ask anything more from Jeremer. Talagang he's just letting it fly right now.
And this is Jeremer Cabanag that we have been talking about all season long. Rising up to be a star for Caloocan Batangcan Caloocan. He is their leading scorer, averaging 11 points per game after all. Greg Slaughter is now on the bench. Rabah Luceni is in, matched up against Real Cervantes. Josh Flores now misfires. Rebound Bonsubre. And here's Jeremer against Paulo Havilona. Cabanag leaning in.
Oh,
yes!
wow.
What a start for Jeremer Cabanag.
You're right. What a start for Jeremer Cabanag. In the game that they started, that was the same thing. It was Real Cervantes and Jeremer Cabanag. And right now, in this series, Jeremer deciding to start real good.
He's now 1 point away from matching his season average. And that's been only 7.5 minutes gone by in the playoffs. Jeremer Cabanag is back. And let's see what else he can do for us, as he does have a nice, sizable crowd present here in San Juan. 14-7. Our player matchup should not be a surprise to everybody. It is Gabby Espinas versus Greg Zilla. As you can see, Greg Slaughter averages 16 and 10, and it's 9 and 6 per outing for Gabby Espinas in his campaign. We have a report coming in from Mika Abesamis.
Both big men / veterans had different types of preparations for the start of the playoffs. Let me start with the man behind the mask, Greg Zilla, who says that hindi naman iba sa kanya ang may mask as a former fencing player. So in terms of doing his work comfortably, no problem. For the playoffs, Greg just prepared mentally after fracturing his nose for the first time in his career. So he is preparing for all the defense that will be thrown at him. Ito naman si Gabby, you talked about him being gassed, Migs. Body conditioning naman. Kailangan daw talaga magpabilis. So this week daw sa practice, nag 3-man weave sila. Siya daw lahat kumuha sa gitna. 5 times daw yon. So bale, total of 10 both sides. Maybe Coach Mike can help explain this.
Yeah, and napakagandang training nun para kay Gabby. The 3-man weave actually talks a lot about footwork, hand-eye coordination, and conditioning. Conditioning because if you're on the defensive end, then that ball is always going to move, meaning that defense is always going to move. Conditioning, napakalaking bagay niyan, and I like that they went to that 3-man weave.
And as much as I said he was gassed earlier, it was because he dove for the ball.
Yeah.
Besides that, the Caloocan bigs, not only Gabby Espinas, we include Ronnie Matias. They looked so well to start this matchup.
That's right. And walang moment of indecisiveness, I guess. They're very laser focused on what they want to do in this game. The important thing is you sustain it for all 4 quarters because you want to end with a better score at the end of the game.
Now we have a review ongoing for our referees. If you're Coach Ariel Vanguardia, you have to be wary of this Caloocan squad because remember, there are only 2 teams who beat San Juan this season. And the second team was Caloocan. What a win that was at home.
Yeah, that was a good one. And really helped a lot boost itong moral ng Caloocan because they know coming into the playoffs, they needed that one morale boost and they got it in that game. The crowd was behind them and you really could feel the home court advantage, which, hopefully is also maramdaman rin nila kahit na most of their games would be away.
Well, this is neutral ground for Manila versus Caloocan, but we are experiencing some high energy inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center. So big shout out to the fans, and we hope that everybody watching online and on TV are enjoying. It's a foul on Raba Aluseni. Bonsubre with a big smile on his face. I'm sure he prepared himself for all the physicality this series.
That is right. And you go up against Greg Slaughter or Raba and I guess even Jameson, magkakaroon ng konting masahe dyan sa loob. Kaya medyo ready ka na.
Not to mention Carl Brian Cruz.
All right.
And you have Jory Napoles as the small forward of Manila.
Oh, how big has Jordan Napoles been para dito sa Manila? He's just given that extra boost pagdating sa offensive production, which they really needed. Been really good para dito sa Manila SB team.
Oh, he has scored in double figures in all of his 3 games
right.
Before the playoffs. This is Napoles now trying to attack. CBC cross court to Paulo. Javellona for 3. Yes!
And no surprises there. It's one of their top 3 stat lines. That's their number 2 when it comes to 3-point makes, roughly averaging almost 10 per game. They get 30 points out of all the points that they score in a game from there.
And they do it at 32% efficiency. And you said how many players average better than 32%?
8 players.
That's how efficient they have been. As now Manila will try to execute once more. Under a minute and a half remaining in the first. Puroy Kantimbuhan. He hung in the air. He just misfired. And now it's a forward pass by Inigo. Romel Calahat. Defended by Napoles. It's Bonsubre up top. Back to Achi. 2-man game. Inigo bounces. Bonsubre is pushed. No foul. But there's the conversion.
See that shot? Hindi ganun kadali. Pinag-uusapan natin kanina. Offense or defense pagdating sa Caloocan, kailangan mag-exert ka ng effort. Which is exactly kung ano nakikita natin sa kanilang end. Even the difficult shots they are making.
And you have to be happy for Bonsubre scoring for Caloocan because he's been known for his defense all season long. Only averaging 2 points per game. As now this is Napoles fouled on his attack.
And I think one of the things also that they're going to look at, as you see this move right here, got that second defender committed. But look at that move. Hirap nun, no?
That's balance for
Oh,
you.
yeah, that's balance for you. That's right. And
Paul is converting.
And I was gonna say earlier, Mix, na titingnan nila ngayon number of attempts nila. Because right now, at this point, they are -8, speaking of Manila, in terms of attempts, which is very unlike Manila. They're really more of a high-octane team that loves to, go for shots on the outside or inside. But right now, the defense is really slowing down offensively itong Manila.
On the other end, Caloocan is not slowing down. As Tayong Tong is trying to maneuver, he shoots and scores. That was the best player, Caloocan versus San Juan.
That is right. And if you get these guards, Jeromer, Joko, and even Irvin, even Achi going, it's going to be a tough cover defensively because you have to generate closeouts defensively itong Manila.
And to add to that, Paul Sanga is not available
Exactly.
today because of a hamstring injury. It's not too major though. We can expect him to return anytime soon. So they will take any sort of scoring from Joko Tayungtong among others.
Yeah. And right there on that move, Joko had Havelona really working defensively. He didn't know where he was going, middle or going right.
Kantimbuhan at the stripe. He converts on his first. Kantimbuhan was a mid-season addition for Manila SV Batang Sampaloc, but it's been a big-time adjustment for him because in his previous teams, Sir Muntinlupa and Bacolod, he was one of the stars alongside Domark Matiliano, and obviously now he's a role player again.
Right. And I think he's already come to the acceptance of, accepting that role coming off the bench.
Gil Cervantes tried to beat the clock. It's not going to count anymore, and that will conclude our first quarter in the playoffs for 2024. Caloocan off to a fantastic start.
And, the thing is they're out assisting itong Manila. 7 versus 3, and so they got more attempts. Very clear point of attacks para sa Caloocan. Once they see an open guy, you got to give it to him. Expect that closeout's going to come. But definitely, if you have that shot, go get it in there.
Jeremy Cabanag went off to have a blistering start. He's already in double figures after the first quarter. It is 19-13 after 1.
Back at the Phil Oil, Eco Oil in San Juan for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League playoffs, Coach Ariel Vanguardia is excited to be part of the closest series in the North. Close standing, nice matchup, 70% na daw ang infusion ng system niya. Having played a few games with them, he knows his advantage, the biggest guy in the league and his strong wing lineup in Napoles, Torralba, Tolomia, Hamon. So getting into the playoffs, he focused more on his point guards in Navarro, Pastoran and Katimbuhan. Coach Ariel is happy to be back in the league that continuously evolves in the mix of veterans and young guys. As a coach who has been around, dito pa rin daw siya maraming nakukuha to fill up his coaching cup. Migs and Coach Mike.
That is so good to hear from Mika Abesanos about Coach Ariel Vanguardia, because for him to honor the MPBL after having a stint with the Atlanta Hawks, that's a big testament about the league. But you can only imagine yung prestige na nakukuha ng Manila from him being their leader.
Agree. And I like his, his confidence in, we know where we are. Ito na ang number of percent na na-complete namin in terms of the system. And really, again, when we go back to that game against Zamboanga, it was totally a different Manila team that we saw. We expected Zamboanga to be, a better defensive team in that game, pero pinahirapan rin sila nitong Manila defensively.
That actually brought Zamboanga down to the 4th spot in the South Division.
Oo, totoo. Travel,
against Real Cervantes, who was matched up against a co-FEU alum in CBC, Carl Brian Cruz.
And you see dun sa elbow action na yun, walang tao dun sa poste alongside Real Cervantes. So clearly, they want to attack that side of the lane. You see right there, field goal percentage, 3 out of 10, 8 of 19. Yep. Pero ang mas importante dyan, yung +9 na attempts on the favor of Caloocan. Very unlike Manila.
Now there's a shot for SV Batang Sampaloc. Unable to convert, and the ball was tapped away by Jory Napoles. Hosseini still looking for his groove in this matchup. He is an all-star after all, alongside Greg Slaughter for the North. Achi Inigo against Puroy Kantimbuhan. Screen by Bonsubre. Inigo onto Junjun. Nice escape. 2 points for Junjun Bonsubre.
Safe to say so far, after 1 quarter, this has so far been a Caloocan game. More attempts because of offensive rebounds, better in assists, and really clogging up that lane inside.
Inigo already has 4 assists in this game. And he averages 3 as Cervantes converts from the outside.
Ito, ang question ko na lang dito sa Caloocan is that, will you be able to sustain this for the entire 4 quarters? Because you have to be very efficient against this kind of Manila SB team.
That was the third 3-pointer of Caloocan Batang Kaloo. They're now up by 11, the biggest in this matchup.
Yeah.
And there's a pull by Romel Calahat.
Yan, magandang advantage yan para sa Manila. Napoles on the post-up against Calahat.
This play of the game is brought to you by Suzuki. The 2-man action between Achi Inigo and Jun Bonsubre, who have been patient all season long for Caloocan.
Yeah. And Rabbit tried to help out because he felt the ball was already going downhill. Really, a lift on the other end and that roll. Couldn't do anything but knock it down.
By the way, those two came inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center together. So I can only imagine that the chemistry is on the court and off the court as well for Achi and Jun Bonsubre. Great help by Calahat. And here's Joko Tayongtong on the move. Tayongtong is blocked. Counter for Manila. Napoles. Cross-court feed. Tolomia onto his trailer. CBC. Kick out to Paulo. That's the second 3 for Paulo. He misfires.
Wow, the shots have been falling. The defense is late right now. 3 guys inside the paint.
Calahat on the follow.
Which is exactly what's going to happen. You know, the bigs of Manila having focus inside the paint to get offensive rebounds. Once that ball is loose, long rebound, they're going to run the other way.
Greg Zilla trying to counter. There's an early foul. That's not going to count. As for referee Carol Guay, she had to make sure that Greg Zilla will see her gesture na hindi po counted na kanyang 2 points. But now there will be a review.
Let's see it right here. Good post up. Oh, and that single coverage too.
You think Greg has a case here?
I think he's got a case. Well,
referee Carol will still pursue the non-count. So it will be an inbound for Manila as Josh Aralba returns. He replaces Paulo Havilona. This is a big lineup for Batang Sampaloc. Toralba at the 2.
At saka highly offensive 5 yan. Tolomia, Toralba, CBC, and Napoles.
With Slaughter.
Right.
6 on the shot clock. Napoles lost the ball.
Ooh.
Now, Jory did tell me that he also noticed the change of physicality. Of course, between Season 2 and Season 6 of the MPBL, the league has come a long way.
Right. Malayo na rin.
No? Although he is in good conditioning. As Cervantes fires and misses, you can see that Caloocan is really fighting for that ball. Tolomia. Mike going around and around. The feed to Slaughter. It's tapped away.
Again, they run the other way.
Inigo being patient. Calahat will fire. Too strong. Rebound Joko. 4-on-4 action. Calahat. Same shot. Same result. Rebound Napoles. That's the 4th rebound of Jory Napoles. Tolomia onto the corner. CBC. Back to Mike. Inside they go.
There
Greg
you go.
Zilla. Double teamed. 2 free throws.
There you go. That's the pass that Manila wanted. And it is going to be tough for anyone. Kahit na sinong team pa yan. Ganun kalapit si Greg.
Slaughter not happy with that previous sequence. He even shared some words with the real Cervantes.
Right.
Let's see what happened.
This is the ideal situation for Manila. To get Greg inside that paint that close.
At least it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The interaction between the two veterans.
Well, I guess you could say this is a relatively rough start for Greg because of all the contacts that he's getting inside.
That together with his adjustment to the mask.
To the mask, right. Tsaka kahit papano ang Caloocan nagawa rin, napatahimik rin ng konti si Josh Toralba. Pinag-usapan natin, ang laki ng energy na binibigay niya off the bench ni Josh.
He's scoreless so far.
Yeah.
Talking about Josh Toralba. Slaughter is getting ready to shoot, but we still have a review ongoing. Here's Fiat Cervantes, the guy who got tangled up with Greg Slaughter a while ago. And there's Coach Toto Dohilio, silent as always. But I know for a fact that his players love him. There's a review ongoing for referee Lester Arcega. He will now proceed to Miguel Perey. I wonder if there would be an escalation here.
That's going to be interesting.
It's been very physical since the get-go after all.
Right. And which is more to the liking Caloocan.
Number 26, Ruth Cervantes is second. 13 foul.
Just a foul on Real. So he joins Bonsubre and Navarro, who have 2 fouls each in this game. Slaughter is still trying to say something to our officials.
But I feel, you know, with all these fouls being...
Oh, he's bleeding. Is he?
Oh, yeah? Oh, my.
Yeah, he is. Now, that could be extra concerning because he already has a fractured nose, as reported by Mika.
This is the second game we've actually seen him bleed from the nose.
The last time was with that...
Zamboanga.
Yeah, in that sequence with Joseph Gabaini.
Right. That was Joseph.
Now, is this playable?
I think they should give him some rest and attend to him right now.
It does look like the bleeding has stopped. And let's hope that they can protect that nose. Because in the long run, you'd want to keep Greg Slaughter on the court.
Right. And I guess in the same way, ito namang Caloocan, yung mga bigs nila, huwag masyado magpa-foul because you wanna stay in the game.
Now, Rabah Luceni was already ready to check in.
I think they're gonna make him take the free throws muna, or will he be replaced? I think he should be replaced.
Pinapapasok na si Rabah Luceni, so Slaughter will have to sit down. Now, free throw shooting wise, this is not bad for Manila because Aluseni shoots almost at the same rate as Greg, near 82%. They're number 2 and 3 in the league, respectively. And there you go. The first one is a miss. Again, we're not doing it intentionally. It just happens.
Just happens.
We did see a particular guy at the bench of Manila wearing green. He's actually quite a special coach. Later on, if we can get a shot of him, I'll tell you a bit of a story. It is 26-13, under 7 minutes in the second quarter. Joko Tayongtong attacking, losing his defender, but he was unable to score. And here's the counter. Josh Toralba. Drive and feed, Tonino Gonzaga onto Tolomia, who misfires. Great tapping by Caloocan.
Boy, they needed that make right there. But there's one thing I feel that Manila could actually exploit given their size. It's fast break. But they haven't gone to that right now. And neither of the teams actually have gone to the fast break.
Espinas, his first points on the block.
And again, talagang trinabaho niya yung puntos na yun against Rabah Hussein. He's so much taller than him.
28-13. Manila hasn't scored in this quarter, by the way. The tally is 9-0
And that really speaks in volume of the defense of Caloocan. Look at this one here. Very patient, understood that contact was coming, and just went in there for the finish.
But now, it's going to be Greg Slaughter back in the game. So it might be harder for Gabby Espinas to try to score. As Toralba converts from the line. That's his first point. And again, the first point of Manila in the second frame. Toralba played as an import overseas before getting back to the Philippines, although he had a 3-month hiatus kung saan hindi siya nakapaglaro ng competitive basketball. So conditioning was a bit of a challenge for him, but now he's looking so good once more. Hiruta gives it up to Espinas. Now matched up against Greg Zilla.
Same side of the floor.
Nice cut by Cervantes.
Yeah. They've actually kept that right side post pretty open for cutters. I mean, drawing out Greg from there, keeping him busy with Gabby Espinas and allowing Rail for that cut on the back.
That is the 13th field goal of Caloocan. And they also have 11 assists.
Yeah. It's the deflections, the defense, and the ball movement that's really done well for Caloocan. Another one on its way.
Missed by Cervantes. They have numbers for Manila. Can they capitalize? Toralba on the feed. Gonzaga. No good.
Oh, wow.
Back and forth we go. Aaron Hiruta onto his trailer. Cervantes, 1-2. The pass, and Jaggi now they will score.
11 assists so far para dito sa Caloocan. And, you know, at the rate that they are going, you know, this has been the type of game that Caloocan wanted to do.
And with that, they have 9 players already have scored in this game. Greg Zilla for 3, no good. And that's off of a Manila player. So Caloocan gets possession once more. But before we proceed, we have a timeout for Coach Toto Dohilio. This assist of the game is brought to you by the MPBL party list ng Kaliga ng Mamamayang Pilipino. Just great efficiency for Caloocan. Great team chemistry displayed in game number 1. They have a 17-point advantage. We have our fans of the game brought to you by Jinky Skin. A couple of supporters for Manila SV Batang Sampaloc. And to my knowledge, that is the daughter of Paolo Javelona. At the right-hand side, wearing the Jordan pink shirt. They would want to have a big-time comeback because their team is now down by 17 points. The deficit is actually more than the points that they have scored in this game.
That's right. At saka yung flow ng game, and this is really more like Caloocan than it is Manila. The threes have not fallen for Manila, and so puts a lot of pressure on the paint guys to be scoring.
There you see Coach Gary Boyson. This guy has been an NBA scout for more than a decade. And nowadays, he's been helping out for Manila SV Batang Sampaloc as one of the longtime friends and coaches as well of Greg Slaughter. Now, there's a basket scored by Jeremy Cabana contesting the outstretched arm of Greg Zilla. So he now has a dozen.
Right. And again, babalik tayo dyan sa right side low block area which has been kept open. Coaches would call that an open post. Walang tao dyan. If that's open, they can go attack it. And that's what so far, to my observation, Caloocan has been doing. Attacking that open post on the right block.
And it has translated onto 14 points in the paint as well.
That's right.
For Caloocan compared to the 2 of Manila. Greg Slaughter posting up. There's a foul. It's called on Gabby Espinas.
Pero kita mo talaga yung focus kay Greg Slaughter. Hawak niya yung bola, hindi pa niya na-dribble, dumating na yung secondary defender. Pahirapan mo pag nasa poste. I guess that's the key instruction of Coach Toto Duhilio to the guys in black.
Well, Slaughter only has 4 points so far to show for in 11 minutes of play, as Jan Hamon will look to help the cause for Manila, especially scoring-wise. Slaughter now proceeds to the stripe. Half of his points have come from the line. Only one field goal so far for the leading scorer of Manila. Gabby Espinas continues to plead his case for a non-foul. Free throw shooting though for Greg Slaughter isn't too good in this game.
It hasn't been that good. They're normally a 73% free throw shooter. Right now they're at 63%, way below their normal average.
And Greg is now at 50%. He's normally at 82. Make it 3 out of 5, 60% for Greg Slaughter. Hiruta will bring it down. 34-16. Jennifer Cabanag thought about it.
We're gonna clear that side again.
Matias onto Espinas. Baseline attack. Reverse. No good. Recovery for Gabby. He had to feed it with a contest of Slaughter. And here's Napoles onto Toralba. Josh got snatched away. Cabanag 2-on-1. Jennifer bounces. That's a foul. Espinas will go to the line.
Ibang klase yung flow na nilalaro ng Caloocan ngayon. You know? Talagang nakakommit sa depensa, you know. No layups in that last attempt for Manila, and really just ball deflections, closing out those driving lanes and running the other way if they have every chance that they have.
It's Coach Ariel Van Guardia. Pretty sure there's a lot going on in his mind right now. This free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subok at kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. Espinas converts. There you see Congressman Oka malapitan, watching intently at the sideline.
I'm sure yung mga empty possessions na yun para sa Manila, yun ang malaking pag-uusapan nila ngayon. Because 34 attempts versus that of only 16 for Manila, that's just too huge. Considering that you're the bigger team. I mean, every time you go down the floor, very rarely do you get a shot attempt, and you're not converting real good. That's the case right now for Manila.
And you did mention, in terms of the inside game, it is very important. More importantly, for Caloocan.
Substitution, Renzo Navarro for Mike Colombia.
Tsaka ang dami na rin pinasok na tao ni Coach Toto Duhilio. So he's really going to that roster of players.
Well, all season long, 15 players. That's like your whole rotation. Average 10 plus minutes per game for Caloocan. They've been that generous.
Yeah, kaya naman number 5 sila pagdating sa bench points with almost 42 bench points per game, and that's pretty big chunk of the points that you produce in a game.
Conversion at the line for Manila. The lead is 19 with under 3 minutes remaining before halftime. Hiruta onto Matias. Ronnie feeds. That's a turnover. Steal number 3 for the Manileños. Jan Hamon for 2.
There you go. That could be that one guy that they need off the bench, Jan Hamon. Streak shooter, good range, good decision making. They're gonna need him to be good here.
Gotta remember, back in Season 2 of the MPBL, Jan Hamon was the leading scorer of the Pasay Voyagers. Let's see if he can go for some kind of reincarnation in this ball game. Game number 1 of the playoffs between Manila and Caloocan. Those are the first 2 markers for Jan Hamon in this game. Presenting the numbers all season long for Caloocan and Manila. What stands out for you?
Well, what stands out for me is yung rebounds. Pag tinignan mo, halos pareho sila. But yung offense and defense, points scored and points allowed, doon yung malaking disparity. Manila is a better scoring team. You know, fourth pagdating dyan. Samantalang fifth naman defensively itong Caloocan. So, contrasting ways of playing. But right now, it seems it's more Caloocan in this game.
Well, with the 19 points of Manila, this is obviously off pace for them to reach 84. I'll give you one statistic though. The lowest points allowed this season by Caloocan was 38. That's the record this season to Marikina. And right now, the 19 is close to that pace.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh man.
Let's see if Batang Sampalo can wake up.
Right.
This is Matias handing it off to Cabanag. He will shoot. And it's a miss for Jenimer. Offensive rebound, pass inside. That's tapped away by a Caloocan player.
So what also helps, I guess, rebounding ng Caloocan, it's their shots that they're missed from the outside eventually results to long rebounds. And so Guardia nakaka-rebound. Oh, what's...
Hold up. There's a miscue between the referees. Yeah, it's supposed to be Caloocan with possession.
Right.
Naituro ni referee Lester Arcega yung kabila. Pero naiayos naman.
13 seconds on the shot.
Baseline inbound for Aaron Heruta. They go to Josh Flores. Catch and shoot. No good. Rebound to Jory Napoles. Jory, stop and pop. Oh, a poor closeout.
Yeah.
It's not an unspo though. Just a push by Ronnie Matias.
Ako gusto ko dun yung timing ng tira ni Napoles. He waited until Greg was finally in the paint. And so that they have a chance for an offensive rebound.
Napoles will proceed to the line. He's been averaging 11.7 points per game in 3 outings. First one is good for Manila. They're now 10 out of 16 from the stripe.
Very impressive field goal shooting nitong si Napoles. 80% from the perimeter, 33% from 3. So that's really good offensive player right there.
How about his free throw shooting?
That's the thing. Your free throw has got to be better, shooting roughly about 50% lang. Right now he made all of these 2 free throws.
The third one, missed it. 66% on that stint. And so we go back Caloocan's way, 36-21, 2 minutes before halftime. Heruta gives it up to Flores. Pinapalabas, Jenimer Cabanag. Being chased by Hamon. And there's a foul. That is one heck of a challenge. Just trying to tail the best scorer of Caloocan.
Yeah.
Foul on number 24, John Hamon, that's his first.
And Caloocan had that little diamond set right in the middle of the paint to set up a Jenimer Cabanag elevator and a flare for Ronnie the other way. Both very able shooters.
Cabanag, nice fake, dribble, pull up, miss, rebound Slaughter.
So far, I guess Jenimer has missed, 2 of his last attempts. But you got to keep shooting if you're Jenimer.
His percentage is still near 50%. As Napoles converts from downtown.
Now, this is a good little rhythm here that Manila is catching up. Later in the game, 5 points, 3 from Napoles, and a couple from John Hamon.
Oh, a lot of physicality inside. It's an unspo called on Greg Slaughter, who had his forearm hit Josh Flores. And Flores went crashing down.
Yeah.
Can really feel for him with that size. And all the weight of Greg Slaughter falling onto him.
This is a back pick actually. Ooh, and right through that chin. And so far, yung cross-screen action na yan has worked wonders para dito sa Caloocan. First, it moves Greg Slaughter and clears out a spot on the floor where they eventually can start attacking.
Slaughter, though, gave a nod to Josh Flores. That's good sportsmanship from Greg Zilla himself.
Yeah. So,
that would be his first foul.
Yeah, and Greg's not that kind of player.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Even though he's getting most of the physicality on the other end.
Kahit bugbog na
no? Well, when I tried to ask him about the physicality of the MPBL, he said He's used to all sorts of physicality.
Oo naman. Sa dami ng bumunggo at pumigil sa kanya.
Iba't ibang bansa pa yan.
Oo.
Iba't ibang level para kay Greg Slaughter.
Mhm.
It is an unspo. A clear one at that. And Flores will proceed to the line. Josh has 2 points so far.
2 free throws for Josh Flores for small possession.
Flores was a mid-season addition as well for Caloocan. Although, he was just late
Mhm.
to actually begin things for Congressman Oka Malapitan and company, as you get to see our row of VIPs. Kenneth Durendes, Joe Ramos. We also have Emer Oreta, Rudy Distrito. Sidap Tupas joins us as well here at the sideline, and Paulo Ramos. Off of the free throws by Flores, we now have a sideline inbound for Caloocan. I was mentioning that Josh was late, but he was training already with Caloocan at the start of the season. So may chemistry na yan with his teammates. As he feeds it on to Matias, and the ball went out of bounds in favor of Caloocan as Kapanag went down. I wonder what that was about.
Well, bodies going down the floor a lot of times here in the first half. Di mo alam kung nagpapahinga o talagang di naman.
Jennifer's trying to sell us something. Wonder if the referees would be convinced. But now we have a replay for ourselves. What actually happened to him? May bunggo mula kay Janamon. And Jennifer just had to let everybody know about
Had
it.
to sell it.
Sideline inbound. Near the baseline for Aaron Heruta. He has 8 to work with. Aaron working with Ronnie Matias.
Oh, man.
He will shoot, and Ronnie will score.
You could immediately see that happening from afar. It's always going to be a slip if Ronnie's going to provide the screen because he has that shot from the outside. And nakascore na siya kanina from the 3.
Matias is 2 out of 2 from the field. He has 5 points. John Amon, 2 out of 2 as well.
Now that really is the guy na kailangan ni Coach Ariel Barangay trying, stem the tide and eventually come back stronger in the third.
It's now 40-27. Heruta picking up the foul. If that's on Navarro, that's going to be 3 on him. And he hasn't played as much. It is going to be on Enzo Navarro. His 3-point shot is brought to you by Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances. Ronnie Matias, who has looked so good all season long, giving us the range. Same goes for Jan Hamon. Heruta is at the stripe. The guy who went to the finals last year with Bacoor, misfiring. He's reunited with a couple of teammates, including Jeremy Cabanag, who he was with in Season 4 when they played for Bacolod alongside Mark Yee.
Right. Ito, down 14 ka ngayon if you're Manila, but a better rhythm, I guess, in the second quarter, latter part with John Hamon and Apollo scoring.
9-second differential. Tolomia. Help provided by Matias. It's a 3. Napoles converts.
That's what they've been wanting to set up, that slip action as well with Napoles involved, because after all, he can knock down shots from outside.
It's 41-30. Heruta, nice find onto the cutting. Ronnie Matias. Last second. There's the prayer. Missed by Mike Tolomia. And so we enter halftime with a 13-point advantage for the league's number 5 seed in the North Division, Caloocan, against the number 4 seeded Manila SV Batang Sampaloc.
But if you're Manila SV squad, you feel you're in a so much better position than you were at the start of the second.
This halftime score is brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball and the partner of the MPBL. That's the ending GameX.
back at the Phil Oil Eco Oil in San Juan for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League playoffs. My name is Mika Abisamis, and right now I am joined by a very special guest, Assistant Coach Gary Boyson, of course, of Manila. Good afternoon, Coach. You guys have a big lineup, and of course you have that height advantage. Obviously not the start you wanted to see. What do you expect from the boys in the second half?
Well, I think, first of all, it's the playoffs. It's emotional. It's obviously very physical today. The opponent has a strategy, obviously, to be more physical. We have to be mentally poised. And I'm sure Coach Ariel, our head coach, is in there right now explaining to our team to be just poised and fight through it. It's a long game, you know, and, it's what, 13 points. That can change quickly. But it's about having mental composure and just playing through the physicality.
So it's really about controlling the emotions for you guys, Coach.
Yeah. And having the discipline and running, trusting each other and doing the things that we do every day in practice. So there's still another half to go.
Very nice to hear from you, Coach. Would you like to say thank you, or would you like to greet anybody, Coach?
Especially Boss Raymond, who's leading us mostly. He's doing a wonderful job and made the opportunity for all of us to be here. And we're doing our best.
Right. Thank you very much. Once again, Assistant Coach Gary Boyson of Manila. Magbabalik po ang Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League Playoffs.
Our halftime score is 43-30 in favor of Caloocan Batang Kankulu. They actually led by as many as 20 points in this game after it was relatively a stronger start for Manila, but only for a couple of minutes. What happened midway through the first quarter up until the end of the second that got them this advantage?
Well, first, they really started off with your made baskets nitong Caloocan, especially with Jeramer knocking down a couple of threes and making short elbow jumpers, and then the defense started coming in. You know, they started feeling good about themselves, and so every time na magmimintis itong Manila, they kept on running the other way. And you know, points of turnovers, nakikita mo naman dyan. 13 turnovers forced on Manila, and they got 10 points out of it. That's pretty huge. 15 assists versus that of only 8. And yung bench points, okay lang, that's fine. At least lumalaban kahit paano itong Manila. And a lot of that is because of John Hamon and Napoles.
There you see, Napoles and Hamon are the two leading scorers of Coach Ariel Vanguardia. They combined for 14. Napoles is well on his way to scoring in double figures again. As much as he has done it for 3 times already this season. Greg Slaughter has 5. He hasn't attempted as many shots because of the defense as you have been describing by Caloocan. On the other end, Jeramer Cabanag not only has surpassed the 5 points per game that is averaged in the last 5 outings, he has also surpassed the 11 points per game that he has averaged all season long. Ronnie Matias is there with 7. Bonsubre and Cervantes as well, chipping in 10 points combined.
At saka Manila, collectively, as a team, nobody's getting volume shot attempts except for Napoles, who's got 3 attempts. He went 2 out of 3. Everyone else has either had at least 2 or 1 attempt. And so, kung lumalabas ba ang kumpiyansa dyan na nawawala because of depensa? Could be. But again, katulad nga nung halftime interview, you gotta move past that and stay composed.
By the way, on Monday, we'll feature the South Division number 4 versus number 5 in Zamboanga versus Parañaque. That will happen at the Quezon Convention Center, to be followed by the Huskers defending their home court against the Negros Muscovados. But today, it's 4 and 5 in the north. Caloocan versus Manila, with Manila being the number 4 seed. And then it's Rizal as the number 8 seed who will challenge number 1 seeded San Juan Knights for our second game. The third quarter begins. It's Gabby Espinas versus Greg Slaughter. Our player matchup once again. Slaughter backing down, and there's a foul. Now, you've been mentioning the lack of shot attempts. Only 20 shot attempts for Manila. It's also because they've had 18 free throws.
That's right.
So, almost the same number of free throws to field goals for them.
Correct.
And that begs us to wonder if in terms of momentum, in terms of feel with their shooting, if it's actually damaging for Manila. As now Slaughter is fouled again.
Pero kailangan mo kasing is to see that ball go through the hoop on a regular flow of your offense so that you feel good. And you know, some guys feed off offense to generate their defense, and could be a case here for Manila. And I like what the interview said. Was it Coach Gary when he said that they still gotta stay composed.
Yeah, that's Coach Gary Boyson, the assistant coach of Manila. Again, he's been a long-time NBA scout. I even read an article that he's a scout for the New York Knicks. So, big shout out to him, and we're happy to have him present in the MPBL. As now it's Jeramer Cabanag who catches, shoots, and misses. No foul there. And we go to the other end. Josh Toralba streaking through. He scores with a layup.
No, they're going to need that energy from Josh right now. Down 11 in a really good spot to start a strong third quarter.
That's only the first field goal of Josh Toralba in this game. The rest of his 3 points came from the line. Gabby Espinas on the face-up. Espinas, kick out. Flores, bothered by Slaughter. Ball tapped by Josh. There's been a lot of tapping, by the way, for Caloocan, leading onto these types of opportunities for Gabby Espinas, among others.
Yeah, yung plus possessions actually nanggagaling sa offensive rebound. Konting tapik dito, maliit na screen sa kabila. It allows just Caloocan guys to be scrambling for those rebounds.
45-34, Tolomia fouled by Palencia, who had to go in between Tolomia and Slaughter.
Yeah, and dun makikita mo yung sipag sa depensa. They're not allowing any gaps on any two-man action to allow that guy dribbling the ball to create freely on the other end once he gets past that screen. They're not getting that from Caloocan right now.
I did have a short conversation with Irvin Palencia during halftime, and he told me na naramdaman niya talaga yung gigil, yung hunger sa locker room pa lang in terms of wanting to win in this game as CBC scores for Manila. And then he added to me, defense wins championships. And that's what he is trying to once again exemplify in the MPBL as Palencia drives and feeds. Now there's a foul.
And one thing that's been constant so far on those dribble attacks by Caloocan, that weak side corner is always going to be there as a pressure release. And so you put in a scorer like Jeremy Cabanag right there, I'm pretty sure that defense is going to come in late.
This fast break of the game is brought to you by Sports Max, powered by Play Max, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL. Win to the max. Josh Toralba able to convert with his offhand as now Cabanag converts from downtown.
That's the first time in a very long while that he's actually seen that ball go through the net. Pero importante, hindi titigil tumira.
15 points, 3 threes now for Cabanag, and they force the turnover. Palencia going to Matias. The pass was a bit too wide.
Too wide, too behind for Ronnie Matias to even get it.
And you can really see it in the body languages of the players of Caloocan. How important every possession is for them.
And in the same manner, Manila right now, the body language has got to improve. You got to stay poised if you want to win this one.
Wow. Almost a steal by Palencia. As that was supposedly a mismatch already in favor of Carl Brian Cruz.
The feet movement has been pretty different for Caloocan. Grabe active yung movement ng paa nila, no? So they cover a lot of space.
Well, you did talk about the three-man weave with Mika Besamis to explain their level of conditioning for today. Tolomia attacking, he lost the ball. And off of that scramble, we're back with Mike. Tolomia feeds Toralba up and under for those 2 points.
Somebody's got to get into that ride that Josh Toralba is in right now. The energy that he has.
Nice cut by Josh Flores.
One other thing that Caloocan is doing right now, every time on a dribble penetrate, they draw a secondary defender, they pass it to the guy that's next free.
We've seen 17 assists already off of 20 field goals for Caloocan Batangcan Kalu. How many assists do they average?
Ang itong
Caloocan,
roughly about 25 assists per game.
Good pace for this matchup as Josh Toralba is now heating up.
Yeah. And you like that. Ako, if I'm Coach Ariel Vanguardia, I like that he's heating up because he's an energy guy. He rubs off on other players. And the hope really is for the other guys to follow suit.
Toralba is the second player. Check that, the first player to reach double figures for Manila. And there's the first player in this game overall to reach double figures, Cabanag now with 17.
In as much as tumatrabaho defensively itong Caloocan, pinapatrabaho rin nila ang depensa nitong Manila. Jeremy coming off a curl and getting that shot. How many times do you see that?
CBC unable to score, rebound Espinas. That was the 6th board of Espinas, leading on to this jumper by Irvin Palencia, who just scored his first 2.
You could say that Greg is gassed, but so is Gabby. He's not even going down anymore. Mas minuwari niya yung depensa kaysa opensa. Kaya niya na yan, kaya nasa mutyan.
Yeah, it's their way of load management in the game for sure. Toralba, no good off of his heat check. And as you can see, Espinas will just gladly walk. There's an open guy, Josh Flores all day, short. Forward to Hamon. They're down by 13. Toralba lost it. Ronnie Matias playing point guard. Matias feeds Cabanag. Short. No foul. Recovery for Manila. Here's Janamon, met by Cabanag. Help provided. Hamon in trouble. He escapes. What a move by Janamon.
And there's just no give up on John Hamon. I have never seen this guy give up on any play. Look at this. Double teamed and all. In a mad scramble for space. Found a way to score.
We did see His wife, Miss Riza Fajardo, very happy at the sideline. There's another guy who should be happy with that move. That's Boss Roman Ang, na nagpupuyat ngayon sa San Francisco, supporting his Manila SV Batang Sampaloc squad. We have Romel Calahat and Rio Cervantes checking in, joining Joko Tayungtong, Irvin Palencia, and Gabby Espinas. On the other end, Jory Napoles, Jimboy Pastoran, and James Sena are now in, joining Jan Hamon and Greg Slaughter. There's one guy who's also about to sub in June Bonsubre.
Tsaka ang lalim rin talaga ng pagkakahugot ng mga players ni Coach Toto Dovillo. And really, just the trust that he has on his players.
Sorry miss for James Sena on the follow.
Wow.
This is Palencia behind the back, Cervantes.
2 on the guy, you let him go.
Cervantes, 1-on-1, step
Oh,
back,
wow.
three-pointer, too strong. And that's a foul by Calahat. He was all over Jory Napoles. And it's free throws already for Manila.
21 3-pointers already attempted by Caloocan.
Without Paul Sanga.
Without Paul Sanga, that's right. I was going to get to that. Eh, madalas Paul Sanga yan di ba?
Especially in the last couple of games. As
Right.
this free throw is brought to you by Extreme Appliances, ang subukat kompletong appliance brand ng Pilipinas. It is actually important for us to describe how Paul Sanga has been performing lately. He's only averaging 7 points per game this season. But ever since he was selected as an All-Star, he's been averaging 13 points per game on 3 3-pointers per outing at 40% efficiency. That's All-Star level for
Correct.
you.
I agree. At mas nai-impress ako sa kanya kasi hindi lang siya nakatayo on those threes that he makes. Oh, what a move!
Some magic in the air for Joko Tayongtong.
And I'm sure Paul Sanga wouldn't mind getting cut off with that story with Joko Tayongtong knocking down that very beautiful layup shot.
Tayongtong was supposed to be the next man up in terms of defense with the absence of Joel Liu, and here he is working on both ends, and that is a beautiful spinneroo by Romel Calahat.
And we talked about this earlier. This is similar to how that game flowed in the first time that they met early in the regular season. Lamang ng 3 quarters ang Manila, and then in the 4th quarter, better scoring yung Manila, sila ang nanalo. But now, to your point, mas malaki yung labang ngayon kaysa doon sa game na yun.
Yes. And the consistency has been better for Caloocan. They are winning this quarter by 2 points. This play of the game is brought to you by Suzuki. Joko Tayongtong, 24-carat magic in the air with that dipsy-do on the up and under.
Talaga namang dinipsy-do na husto yung layup na yun. And Joko is one of those guards that if you're Coach Toto Dovillo, you love to see that he works well with Irvin, Jeramer, and Achi.
58-44 now. Tayongtong bringing it down. Working on the horns with Cervantes and Bonsubre. Joko drive and feed. Calahat, nice fake.
Nice fake.
Romel inside, no good. Rebound, Batalier. Now they go forward with Jory Napoles. Pastoran. With all of the horns being heard inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center.
Clear out.
Sena backing down. James, baseline spin. He misses. Hamon on the follow, no conversion. And here comes Achi Inigo. This is a 5-on-4. Calahat to the corner. Tayongtong. Joko. That was a tough move. 12 seconds to work with. Calahat. He's fouled.
Wow, and every Caloocan player, once they see their ball handler with 2 guys on him, they just go to the next spot that's most open each and every time. And that has done him wonders offensively.
It's one thing to locate an open spot. It's another thing for that player to actually go to that open spot.
Yung effort na pumunta doon. Nakita mo open or fine. Anong gagawin mo? Pupuntahan mo ba yun o hindi?
Yeah.
The fact na pinuntahan mo, kita mo talaga yung effort, and that's what we're seeing with Caloocan.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but we normally see that with Batangas. with the way they move,
Mhm.
how they read
Right,
defenses.
right. Understanding how to exploit open spots on the floor. And alam mo naman ang Batangas pagdating sa mga perimeter plays and points in the paints, they take a lot of pride on that, especially as they prepare each and every game, regardless kung sino kalaban.
After all, it takes years to learn the system of
That's
Coach Cholo
right.
Villanueva.
Agree.
Achi Inigo, no good. Rebound Napoles. Chori has been racking up the boards, by the way. We'll check on that. As now, this is Jimboy Pastoran going to Ira Batalier. Back to Jimboy. Pastoran leaning in, and he scores.
There was a game, I think it was in Batangas, where Jimboy came off the bench, scored real good in the fourth quarter and won that game for them. Now we'll see. Maybe that's the same ploy here for Jimboy.
I remember that game.
Yeah.
He actually duplicated that performance in their next outing that happened in Caloocan. As now there's a miss by Cervantes. And we're back with Enzo Navarro. Must play limited minutes because of foul trouble. No foul there on his three-pointer. Forward pass, Inigo. Mid-range, off the glass.
Yeah. Poised na poised. Composed na composed. Itong Caloocan right now.
First 2 points for Achi Inigo, who also has 5 assists in this game. 60-46, Pastoran. Step back. They go to Batalier. Bounce pass to Jimboy. Nice play.
Nice move. Naging patient, naging composed. Give up that ball. Little give and go.
4 points now for Jimboy Pastoran. He could be that spark plug for Manila alongside Janamon. As now Pastoran went flying. It was because of a charge. Something else happened afterwards. Nothing too drastic though. There will be a review as Bonsubre is on the ground.
And that action, I guess, involving James?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll let the referee sort this one out. Referee Ray Gabriel is now on the floor. After all, we do have 4 officials rotating in each game. Here you see the veteran James Sena, another mid-season addition for Manila. I did mention only 7 players have played more than 20 games.
Yeah.
That's like a third of your roster.
Correct.
Playing 2/3 of the season. Ang daming adjustment para sa Manila. Ang maganda lang sa kanila, Coach Mike, veterano na sila. And they have actually played with one another or against each other at some point in their careers. Here's the extra motion. I'm not sure there was anything intentional there.
Yeah, I didn't see that too. Parang wala rin no?
Or we might have not caught it with the angle.
Yep, could be.
So we'll just trust that the referees have all the angles right there to decide. There's Ira Batalier, one of those 7 players who have played more than 20 games. Oh, how about Ray de Mesa giving a bit of a hair management there for Jun Bonsubre.
Nais yung banks, binaba talaga.
Kaya nga eh. That's Ray de Mesa. Paul Sanga should be there as well. This is Dennis Villamor.
Yeah.
Who was a champion back in the inaugural season with Batangas.
On number 88, Ira Batalier for sportsmanlike behavior.
He was actually on Batalier. Who's getting that drastic call.
Pero 12 lang to, kayang-kayang balikan ng Manila. Matter of fact, this is a really good quarter for them, Just a 1-point difference in terms of production this quarter. They really just got to get over that hump.
Yeah.
And produce, a string of points bundled up all together.
Well, there's a trend though. Their points have been getting higher and higher as each quarter goes by.
Yeah.
Pastoran working against Achi Inigo. The lead is a dozen. Jimboy attacks and feeds to the corner. Napoles for 3. That's good.
Yeah. A string of really good offensive execution. That's what they need. And so far, they're getting it right now.
No answer from Cervantes.
Answer the other way. Watch out for Jimboy.
This is Pastoran. Defended by Tayong Tong. 15 on the shot clock. Two-man game. Pastoran and Batalier. There's the screen. They go to Navarro. 7 seconds. Napoles will shoot.
Oh!
Unfortunately, the call is a charge on James Sena. And now, there would be another review because Napoles was able to convert. And that would be his 4th three-pointer in this game.
That's all the more worth that look. Aside from this one right here. Dalawang magkasunod na magandang execution. And so far, Jimboy and Napoles have been a really good combo.
Let's see the replay. Examine the timing. Nauna ba ang foul? Could be.
Yeah.
They were already on the floor.
Right, they were already on the floor.
But again, we're not referees.
So, sure looked like he took the shot before that whistle came. I don't know.
But then again, it's not when the whistle was blown, right? It's when the contact happened.
Yeah. Pero maganda tong pinapakita na flow ng ng Manila right now. Again, kailangan mo lang dumepensa dito para matapos mo itong quarter na to on a really good note. Scoring-wise, it's what? 21 and 17. 4 points in their favor.
So it's 4 more points as each quarter goes by for Manila. 13, 17, and 21. And we still have 28 seconds remaining.
Number 15, James Sena, that's his second foul.
It seems like the basket won't count for Jory Napoles. Again, that would make sense because the contact happened first.
Yeah. Nagkayakapan muna.
Oh. This is day number 1 of the MPBL's 6th season playoffs. Later on, it's Rizal versus San Juan. Caloocan breaking down pressure defense at the backcourt of Manila. 3-second differential. Tayong Tong. They go to Kalahat. Cervantes. 7 on the shot
Good
clock.
deflection.
It is not a turnover. 3 seconds. Now it is a turnover. Ooh, a lot of physicality there. Kalahat and Navarro getting tangled up. And how about Enzo Navarro staying cool?
Right. Just trying to get out of there and stick to the next play.
He just wants to play.
Oh.
He's only been on the floor for 11 minutes in this game.
Right. And he clearly understands his role in this team. He is the leader and the lead point guard for Coach Ariel.
Here's the entanglement. Again, a testament to playoff basketball in the MPBL. Kung physical na sa regular season, paano pa kaya sa playoffs?
Napakahalaga ng bawat panalo at talo dito and the stakes are really high.
We only have a best of 3 in the first 3 rounds. Navarro misfired on his first gimme. He goes 1 out of 2 for his first point in this game. But he does have 4 assists. Last second, Tayong Tong will shoot. No good. And so, Manila will be down by 8 entering the 4th quarter. If you're Batang Sampaloc, would you be happy?
Yes, I like that quarter. That so far has been the best quarter that they've done, especially on the latter part. And we always talk about closing quarters strong. So far, that's what Manila has done in this third.
These highlights of the game are brought to you by Sip Plus, the official hydration partner of the MPBL. Elevate your hydration. So, you did break down that in the regular season, Manila had a comeback win versus Caloocan, but they only trailed by as many as 7 points in that game. In this matchup, they trailed by as many as 20. It's been a 12-point swing, down to 8 points. Let's see what will happen in the last 10 minutes. It is 60-52.
Back at the Phil Oil Eco Oil in San Juan for your Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Kasama ko ngayon ang naghahanda na sa Tuesday sa game nila against the Nueva Ecija Rice Vanguards. Of course, star point guard of the Pasay Voyagers, Axel Inigo, na nanunood sa kanyang kuya ngayon na si Achi. Axel, napakaganda nitong pinapakita ng Caloocan dito sa araw na to. Sa tingin mo, anong ginagawa nilang tama?
For me lang kasi syempre alam naman natin yung Caloocan. Matagal na sila magkakasama talaga, so yung teamwork nila, syempre yung playoff experience, tsaka yung physicality. Syempre nandiyan sila Kuya Gabi, sila Cervantes. So alam kong ready talaga sila.
Maraming salamat, Axel. Ito na ang panahon para imbitahan mo ang Pasay fans na suportahan nila kayo sa Tuesday.
Ini-invite ko kayo manood sa Tuesday, sa game namin sa Tuesday. Yung mga Paseños, yung mga MPBL fans, sana manood po kayo ng hindi lang po yung Pasay games, lahat po ng MPBL games, MPBL playoff games. Maraming salamat po.
Right, maraming salamat once again, Axel Inigo. Balik sa inyo, Migs and Coach Mike.
Well, Pasay should be booming with confidence because they did defeat Nueva Ecija at the latter part of the regular season, even though the Rice Vanguards weren't complete lineup-wise in that game. So good luck to Axel Inigo and company. There's his brother with the basketball as the tally is 60-52, beginning the fourth frame for Caloocan and Manila. Labanan po ito ng mga bata, Batang Cancalu at Batang Sampaloc, as Espinas lost the ball, Cabanag on the recovery. And no bucket there for Jennifer.
Start off the quarter with a good defensive stop. Now execute offensively para dito sa Manila. Chance to trim this down to 6 here.
Manila is now shooting at a 45% clip. A big disparity compared to only 35% at halftime as James Sena is unable to convert.
Yeah, but they got the shot that they wanted. They wanted that little two-man action on the right side of the floor with James trying to hit it.
And can't we just really see the impact of Lorenzo Navarro?
Oo, totoo. And you know, katina tinamaan siya sa mukha pero he's been right there. How many assists has he got right now?
4.
4.
More importantly, his plus-minus is +12.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty big.
Unfortunately, Caloocan was able to convert. And so we're back with Manila down by 10. Navarro, cross-court to James Sena. Nice fake. Sena, 1-2.
Wow.
And he was fouled on that slow-mo move.
No.
But it was highly effective.
Kumagat doon sa peke si Gabe. And they tried to attack it, but really good help as well. See there. Good fake. Tried to drive it. Outside.
That was so basic, by the way, by James Sena. But, as you mentioned, it's all about the effect. If it works, then there shouldn't be a problem. Sena able to make his first free throw. That's his first free throw of the night as well. Make it 2 for 2 for the vet.
Living up to his percentage, almost 80% per game.
Here's Caloocan, up by 8. Josh Flores, catch and shoot. No good. Rebound Napoles.
You got to run it the other way. You got a chance now. Try and trim this down.
Jory bounces, and there's a hold.
And these guys are doing it without Greg on the floor.
Oh, he's on the floor now.
Earlier, I mean, in the latter part of the third quarter.
And Slaughter only has scored 7 points. Remember, Greg Slaughter only has scored in single digits twice this season. And in both of those games, he played less than 15 minutes. He's already played 21 minutes in this game. Jory Napoles, that's his 4th three-pointer. He's up to 16.
Yan ang maganda naman. If you're Coach Ariel, your shooters now are starting to feel it. Jimboy as well as Napoles.
Nice contest there by Jory. And it's a miss. Napoles just got his 8th board.
Oh, that's a foul.
How concerned should you be if you're Caloocan? Manila is closing in. This is only a 2-possession game.
Right, exactly.
Let's see that three-pointer of Jory Napoles. He's 4 out of 5 from the field, by the way. He even has more misses at the line.
Wow.
Navarro.
Oh, good move.
Nice escape. And the bucket for Enzo Navarro.
Literally left that defense amongst the trees. Couldn't get out of it. And Navarro really snake dribbled past that initial screen, anticipated that recovery on that help side. But boy, this is where you really need Enzo Navarro right now. Snake inside, floater against another big, and a basket.
That's the first field goal of Lorenzo Navarro in this game. He has only played 13 minutes, but his difference on the floor is plus 19 for Manila SV Batang Sampaloc. It is a one-possession game with under 8 minutes remaining. Presenting our fans of the game, brought to you by Jinky Skin. Now, these are fans of Caloocan. As you can see, we do have some green and orange shirts present behind them. There is a sizable crowd for Caloocan Batang Kalu present inside the Phil Oil Eco Oil Center, which is one of the beauties of the MPBL playoffs. More sense of urgency, more crowd factor, and later on, we are wishing for a lot of people to be present as San Juan takes on Rizal.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot considering what happened in the regular season between those two.
That's the longest game that we had this season. Triple overtime.
Almost 3 hours, right?
Umabot ng kinabukasan yun.
Oh, kinabukasan.
62-59. Back with Caloocan and Manila. It's a one-possession game after Manila trailed by as many as 20.
So far, the momentum has swung to Manila.
Palencia. He lost his footing. Cabanag will shoot. That's a big one.
That's big. I mean, talk about that resolve, not wanting to go home with a loss. Jeramer, amidst this comeback by Manila, knocks down that corner.
That's the fourth three-pointer of Cabanag. He's up to 22 points. One field goal away from matching his career high. Pass inside. Slaughter. Basket and one. What a pass by Enzo Navarro.
Hanip yung pasa na yun. I mean, he was right there in the corner getting ready to be trapped. But the vision of an Enzo Navarro, how about this one? Two guys on him right there. Found Greg in the middle.
That is assist number 7 for Renzo Navarro, meeting his season average. An offensive rebound for Manila off of the Slaughter miss. Back with Enzo. Navarro going right. Navarro. Tough pass again. Slaughter. Back-to-back baskets.
And so far, that big and small combo has worked wonders in the last 2 possessions.
Slaughter is now in double figures with 11. 65-63 in game number 1. Palencia goes to Cabanag. Jennifer defended by the longer Napoles. 7 on the shot clock. Up top they go. Palencia. It's Flores who fakes. Back to Urban who has to shoot. And Palencia converts.
That was big. Irvin Palencia knocking that 3. Not really a good 3-point shooter, but the timing to that make.
15 total threes in this game. 2-man game once more for Navarro. This time he shoots. That's short. Oh, Palencia getting the ball off of Slaughter. Irvin gets it back. One more feed. That's a kick ball by Paulo Javelona.
Well, good stop right there by Paulo Javelona. They got numbers, speaking of Caloocan, but Paulo really just came in there and knocked that ball away.
This could be a 4-pointer for all that we know. A big-time shot by Irvin Palencia. Remember, this is a guy with finals experience.
Yes.
He reached the finals in Season 4 with Zamboanga.
At saka yun talaga ginawa lang niya kasi ito pinag-usapan natin eh. Pag libre ka sa tres, tumira ka kahit ilang percent pa yung makes mo, no? And he just really had to take it.
And the shot clock was winding down after all.
Agree.
Risky pass, turnover, CBC. He goes to Paulo Javelona. Napoles stepping back, a 3-pointer. That's the first miss of Napoles from downtown. Matias staying patient. Ronnie then lost the ball. Recovery for Napoles. Forward to Greg Zilla. The pass was too long. too high, even for the 7-footer.
Yeah, and that could have been a key mismatch advantage there for Manila, but the pass was just too loud for Greg to even catch. Pero you have to give it to Irvin Palencia. Hinabol pa rin niya, no? At makikita mo minsan pagbigay, score na to, hindi na ako depensa. Pero ito, hinabol talaga niya eh.
Oh, he did also get the ball from Slaughter a couple of sequences back. There's the heart of Irvin Palencia in full display. Turnover story, 20-8.
Right.
Obviously, 20 is a lot. The most average by any team in this season is 17. That's a walk.
Yeah.
Turnover number 9 for Caloocan, as Palencia lost his footing. But Soto Dohilio ready to move on to the next play.
Ang laking bagay ng mga made threes ng Manila in the middle of that third quarter and to start the fourth.
Turalba matched up against Tayong Tong. Screen by CBC. Josh is in trouble. There's a takedown. It's a charge.
Oh, wow. Josh has not had a good momentum in this game. There were instances that he was really good, pero mga situations na ganito, kahit pa paano natitigilan. But again, babalik ka sa poise and composure na pinag-uusapan nila kanina. Kalimutan mo na yan, move on to the next play.
His best version happened in the third quarter when he
Right.
scored 7 points. That was actually back-to-back-to-back baskets for him. Let's see if he can get that momentum back. 68-63. Palencia against Mike Tolomia. It's a steal by Napoles.
Iba ang depensa ng Manila ngayon. On ball, they're very aggressive.
That's 3 steals for Napoles to complement his 16 points and 9 rebounds. Here he is up top, working with Greg Zilla. Napoles will shoot. No good. Greg Slaughter with the board and the putback. 2+1.
That is the most ideal situation for Manila. Your best three-pointer takes a 3. Greg secures the offensive rebound, puts it back up, and gains a bonus free throw.
13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 from the offensive glass now for Greg Slaughter in his first game as a masked man in Philippine basketball.
On both situations na involve si Greg. On that screen, on that roll, on that rebound, and on that make.
There's the mask provided just in time for game number 1 of the North Division playoffs. Of course, it's far from the fencing mask that he wore when he was younger. But we will trust the word of Mika Besamis that he is used to having one, or at least wearing one. Ooh, almost a dribbling violation there by Tayong Tong. Joko gets it back up top. Cabanag against Napoles. Screen by Matias. Back to Joko. Tayong Tong. Tough shot, no good. Rebound Slaughter. He goes to Napoles. A chance to trim the lead down to 1 or even give us a deadlock.
Now slowly set it up here.
Tolomia attacks. He escapes. 2 points. The first bucket in this game for Mike Tolomia.
Pero ang linaw, that was a clear path to the rack, which, Tolomia really just took. No help side defense at all on the side of Caloocan.
The lead is down to 1. It's been a 19-point swing in favor of Manila. Cabanag goes to Kalahat. 5 on the shot clock. Romel back to Jennifer. Catch and shoot. No good. And there's a loose ball foul. Now, we've been seeing a zone, right?
Right.
Is the zone the biggest factor so far for Manila in countering this onslaught of Caloocan in the second half?
Well, I think it's not just the zone. It's the way that they move their feet defensively. I mean, nagkakaroon ng point na nagkakaroon rin ng scramble pero nakakapag-recover din sila eh.
This is Kalahat onto Tayong Tong. Baseline drive, the leaner, and the basket.
And yun naman ang counter dyan. If it's a really aggressive closeout on those wing passes, just a shot fake and a dribble penetrate could do it.
Under 3 minutes to go. It is 70-67, a charge called on Greg Slaughter. That would be number 2 on him. And I did mention with the departure of Joey Liu, somebody had to step up defensively.
Right. Oo, totoo. Agree.
Everybody told me that it was Joko Tayongtong as next man up. For him to play like this is just big time.
Right. Ang importante doon, kinuha niya yung responsibility. That's the key.
We have our first challenge of the playoffs, courtesy of Coach Ariel Van Guardia. This Coach's Challenge was brought to you by the MPBL Party List, ang kaliga ng mamamayang Pilipino.
Upon review, the challenge was unsuccessful.
Challenge unsuccessful. It is a foul. A charge called on Greg Slaughter as he took down Joko Tayongtong.
Well, that was close.
And you'll see it in the body language of Joko. He had to rest for a while after that contact.
Pero medyo ano rin yung build niya.
Mabigat.
Mabigat din.
Tayongtong, nice fake.
That one's traveling.
That is turnover number 12 for Caloocan, but they have forced 22 on the other side for Manila. CBC will inbound to Mike Tolomia. Manila's down by 3. 2.5 minutes to go. Torralba with the feet work. No basket.
That was tough.
Here's Kalahat. They go to their leading scorer, Jennifer Cabanag, who has 22. Back to him. A three-pointer. No good. Ooh, that was a risky fall for Matias. Forward pass, and Mike Tolomia is all alone. The lead is down to 1.
Again, aggressiveness and the effort to get to those 50-50 balls.
These last 2 minutes are brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending GameX. And we have a foul that happened in the interior.
Yeah, and Torralba felt he got all ball. But this one.
Fast break of the game is brought to you by Sports Max, powered by PlayMax, the official online entertainment partner of the MPBL. Win to the max.
And that was a clear layup attempt again for Tolomia, pero dalawang defender pa rin from Caloocan na bumaba para to try and stop him from making that attempt.
Baseline inbound now for Joko Tayongtong. He works with Gabby Espinas, Ronnie Matias, Romel Kalahat, and Jennifer Cabanag. Up top they go to Ronnie. It's Tayongtong, nice fake. The escape for Joko. He went up and under again, and he was fouled.
Tsaka puro malalaki yun, nilampasan niya, no? Greg Slaughter, Joray Napoles, and he had to fabricate that shot.
It looks so smooth, though, the way he operates mid-air. And it's well-deserved help for Jennifer Cabanag. It can't be just him scoring for Caloocan.
Right.
There's Congressman Oka Malapitan. Watching intently at the sideline. Some fans of Batangkan Kalu enjoying the action.
67% free throw shooter right here.
Tayongtong has 7, 3 and 3 as his number so far. Make it 8 points. Back to a 3-point game. Josh Torralba will return. He replaces Carl Brian Cruz. So now this is a smaller lineup for Manila. They have Jory Napoles at the 4, Slaughters at the 5, Torralba at the 3, Tolomia and Navarro are the guards. Here's Enzo Navarro. Has played a lot more in the second half.
Watch out for Napoles in the corner.
Tolomia on the attack. 10 on the shot clock. Mike still has it. He was fouled before that catch and shoot by Josh Toralba.
Tsaka sinusundan lahat ng nakadribble penetrate talaga. No? Nobody's getting in that lane. One of the very few times, I guess, earlier was Tolomia making that layup. Pero ngayon talagang pinahigpitan inside.
Now, this is not good at all for Caloocan. Cabanag is done.
Yeah.
5 fouls. No Paul Sanga in this game because of a hamstring injury. Palencia will check in. Scoring will be a big challenge for Caloocan. Jennifer exits with 22 to his name.
And he's been the best volume 3-point shooter so far for Caloocan. Speaking of Jaramer.
First free throw is no good, but there will be a reshoot for Tolomia. This guy actually hasn't missed a free throw before this game. That's in the context of this season, although it's a small sample size for him. So Tolomia continues to be at 100% in our campaign.
He's got 5 in the game.
There you see the Rizal Golden Coolers enjoying the action before they take on San Juan. Tolomia is 2 out of 2 tonight.
This game's going down the wire.
As everybody wanted.
Yes.
All along.
Right.
72-71. Tayong Tong. Cross-court feed onto Palencia. Again, there's no more Jeramer Cabanag. Who will score for Caloocan?
Right. That's the big question. Who's going to take that shot?
10 on the shot clock. Tayong Tong. Yes, sir.
Wow. That was a quick answer to our question.
Can he redo what he did against San Juan?
Look at that defense.
Navarro attacking and feeding. This is big. Javelona for the tie. Short. Rebound Espinas. Bounce pass. Palencia. Tayong Tong. Back-to-back buckets.
And just when you think with Jeramer exiting, who's going to score? Joko answered the call.
Joko Tayong Tong is now in double figures. This was the first bucket. Faking left, dribble, pull up, and the make against Carl Brian Cruz. And then on the next possession, on the fast break opportunity, it was fast. Espinas, Palencia onto Tayong Tong. That's why it's now a 5-point advantage. We have a timeout for Manila. Presenting our Suzuki muscular and sporty fan of the game, just like the Avenus, do more and achieve more with a muscular and sporty scooter from Suzuki, the Avenus. Oras na para magmotor at oras na rin para imbitahin ninyo ang inyong mga minamahal sa buhay, ang inyong mga kaibigan na manood ng playoffs ng MPBL. Isn't this what we wanted all along? Only a 2-possession game with under a minute to go between Manila and Caloocan. And later on, it will be the number 1 seeded San Juan Knights defending their home court against the first team that defeated them in their campaign in the Rizal Golden Coolers.
Then after all, the teams that's going to compete here in the playoffs, you want to see a lot of aggressiveness, but you also want to see a lot of resilience and poise sa mga teams that would be trailing whether in-game or in the series, which is exactly what we've seen so far from Manila.
Here we have our player matchup update. Same number of rebounds for Slaughter and Espinas. Greg only has 5 attempts from the field, but 9 from the line, as he is the most fouled guy in the MPBL. Can he actually produce more in these dying seconds? There's a man down for Caloocan. 5-on-4 action here. Navarro will shoot. That was short. Battle for the rebound. Tayong Tong got it.
Oh, wow. What an effort by Joko Tayong Tong.
And that's a foul by Napoles. Free throws to be given. Palencia will proceed to the line. But how about Joko Tayong Tong, the man of the moment, for Caloocan, Batangcan, Caloo.
I'll talk about players rising up to the occasion. You mentioned it earlier in last game nila against San Juan. Now here, wow.
So much for being that next defensive guy.
Oh.
He's not just the defensive guy, he's the guy now. And that's what you want to see when your actual top scorer gets fouled out.
That's right. Somebody to be stepping up and giving that needed energy and production on the floor.
Now, Palencia missed on his first free throw. We've seen 6 misses for the squad of Sir Oka Malapitan. Here's the second one. 0 out of 2. 30 seconds. 2 possession game. Slaughter goes down. That's free throws. Ooh, Ronnie Matias stopped by Gabby Espinas. He might have just prevented something really big there.
Right. Good thing Gabby was there to try and stop him, you know. If he would have gone there and he did what we thought he was going to do, could mean suspensions the next game.
Slaughter and Matias continue to exchange words. This is what happened. There was a bump. And then...
Now, I think previous to that, there was little chippiness between him and Greg.
Yeah, because for him to charge like that,
Right.
it should be more than just a bump.
On that free throw battle earlier.
Again, thank God for Gabby Espinas.
Yeah. Thank God he's got quick feet.
Yeah. And I'd like to think that Ronnie Matias, because it was Gabby Espinas, nakatulong din yun sa pagkalma mo. Kasi madali lang kontrahin yun kapag mas bata eh.
Right,
no?
right.
Pero si Gabby na yan eh. There's a lot of respect between them.
But this is gonna be free throws, right?
It should be. Both teams are in the penalty.
Right.
And Slaughter is already walking by the line.
A good free throw make here could make this a one-possession game.
There's Marion Magat, by the way, who hasn't played in this game. But you know, he played a crucial role in the practices of Caloocan.
Why?
Because he was the designated Greg Slaughter in the practices.
Oh, yeah?
Sila yung pinagpa-practicean nilang depensahan.
Oh, galing.
Importante yung mga ganun, ha?
Ganun eh. Mga role-playing, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
And this is going to be all-important free throws for Manila.
There's Ronnie Matias getting at it with our camera. Naharangan lang ni Ray De Mesa. Come on, Ray. You got to give the exposure to the guy who's playing.
Wow.
And remember, game number 2 will happen at the San Andres Sports Complex.
Yeah.
If Caloocan wins today, then that's the leverage that you would want before going on the road.
Right.
And if you're Manila, all the more motivation for the crowd to fill that complex up, for it to be louder, and for the game to be just as beautifully, or maybe even more in terms of storyline.
And even gives more interest for, the supporters of Manila to be trooping down there in San Andres. In anticipation of their team's game.
If you think game 1 has been physical, what more in game 2? And yes, it will be free throws for Greg Slaughter. Slaughter has shot the ball 5 out of 9 from the line in this game. That's 30% less than his usual average. Again, here's what happened. Ayun na yung initial na tama.
Right.
At bawi na lang to para kay Ronnie.
Correct.
We have to move on. Greg Slaughter is now getting ready to shoot.
With a chance to trim this down to possibly 3 points.
Which is 1 possession. 29 seconds remaining. Caloocan still has 2 timeouts compared to the 1 of Manila.
It's still a lot of basketball.
Yeah, 29 seconds is an eternity in basketball. Ronnie Matias Kumalma na ng
Foul on number 5,
konti.
Ronnie Matias, for
Ooh.
unsportsmanlike behavior.
Oh no.
Ronnie Matias had an unsportsmanlike foul earlier.
Oh
Therefore,
no.
Ronnie Matias has been
He
ejected
might
from
be
this
gone
game.
for the next game, as you
That's
pointed
right,
out.
that's right. Oh, that's...
Because it's an unspo and a technical foul.
Uh-huh.
And again, an accumulation of 2 unspos, technical fouls, or mix and match. Then that would put you out of the game.
Uh-huh.
Then you would have to appeal
Mhm.
to try to be present in your next outing. Now, if you're Caloocan, kung hindi pa makakabalik si Paul Sanga by then, and Ronnie Matias will be out, then that's another big cause of concern.
Right. It's another next man up situation for
Yes.
Caloocan.
Well, maybe that would be the time for Marion Magat to step up.
Right.
But now it's Greg Slaughter who will have 2 more free throws. So he has a chance to trim the lead down to just 2 points.
Right. Ooh.
2 for 2.
2 for 2 here.
And Slaughter had words onto Irvin Palencia, who just tried to give him a low 5.
Uh-huh.
It's been that type of a game between
Right.
these 2 squads. To trim the lead. Down to 2 now. Coach Soto Dohilio will use his second to the last timeout. It is 76-74 with 29.9 seconds remaining in game number 1. On Monday, the MPBL will proceed to the Quezon Convention Center for Zamboanga versus Parañaque. That's 4 and 5 in the South Division. And then it's 1 versus 8. Quezon Province taking on the Negros Muscovados for game number 1 of their respective series. But tonight we focus on Caloocan versus Manila and San Juan versus Rizal. There you see our VIPs, our Executive Officer Joe Ramos with his thumb up, Commissioner Kenneth Durendes, Head of Security Rudy Distrito, and Head of Basketball Operations Emer Oreta joining Satar Macantal as well. This is Mix Gomez, Coach Mike Perez, and Mika Abesamis. Join us in these last 30 seconds. Caloocan, almost a turnover there. It is completed by Napoles, but he threw it onto the wrong guy. Tayong Tong goes to Kalahat. One more feed, Espinas. Tough pass, it is a turnover. Manila's down by 2. And off of the scramble, we have Batang Kankalu with possession as now there's an unspo. Oh no. Kalahat went charging onto Slaughter.
Oh, wow.
But here's the thing. As much as everybody's trying to contain Romel Kalahat right now, if that's an unspo on Greg Slaughter, that would be his second as well.
Yeah.
Remember, he had one earlier in this game, and he could be suspended as well in the next game.
Wow.
Let's see what happened in this chaotic sequence. Kalahat got it. There was a dive by Toralba. The foul by Slaughter. Eventually he hit the head of
hit the head.
Kalahat. That's why Romel went charging.
Right. That's why he had reacted that way.
Oh, good job by the bouncer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. This could be something. I mean, talk about game 2, right?
My goodness. Welcome to the playoffs, everybody. This is just the first game in our campaign. It's just about the sense of urgency of our teams at hand. It's only a 3-game series after all.
Right.
And this is a 1-possession game.
Correct.
With 11.8 remaining.
Free throws on in order, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
For Kalahat.
Uh-huh.
But if it's an unspo, then they will have ball
Ball
possession.
possession, right.
But again, if you're Manila, you don't want to lose Greg Slaughter in game number 2.
And you will go back to that halftime report of Mika when Coach Gary said about poise and composure. And so, I guess it speaks for both teams right now.
Well, to every team in
To
the
every
playoffs.
team in the playoffs, right?
This is on neutral ground, by the way, for these two teams. Paano pa kaya mamaya?
Oo.
San Juan versus Rizal.
Pero kasi mix ramdam mo rin yung support ng mga
Upon review,
followers that came here. Yung
sportsmanlike
fans that
foul on
support.
number 20, Greg Sutter.
There you go.
That's the second unsportsmanlike
He's done.
foul on Greg Sutter.
Greg Slaughter
resulting
is
into
out
game
for this game, and he
disqualification.
could be out for game number 2.
Technical
Right.
foul on number 1, Romel Calahat, for unsportsmanlike behavior. Romel Calahat, 5 fouls.
Okay, now this is interesting. Calahat will have to check out because of 5 fouls, which means Caloocan can select a free throw shooter
Right.
from the bench. And if you would look at their best free throw shooters, as we take a look at that unspo by
Chippiness
Slaughter.
could be one. Inigo.
Yeah, it is actually Inigo.
Yeah.
Inigo is an 80% free throw shooter.
Right.
So he's actually the best after Jennifer Cabanag, who has fouled out,
And,
and Paul Sanga,
Right.
who's injured.
Right.
So there you go.
Good choice.
And there would be, the 100% free throw shooter on the other end, Mike Tolomia, shooting that technical free throw.
Wow.
Man, what a turnaround.
Yeah.
We were raveling about the potential loss of Ronnie Matias. And yet, it's going to hurt even more for Manila.
Right. And the way that the stats have been stacked, if this were a free throw shooting game, it should have been advantage to Manila.
Yes. It's only 60% free throw shooting tonight for Manila. Colombia converts, still at 100% on his MPBL season. And here's Achi Inigo.
Fresh off the bench.
He's 0 out of 1 tonight. The 80% free throw shooter. Converts on his first. And the lead is back up to 2 with 12 seconds remaining. Caloocan will get possession.
There could be possibly a timeout here of Manila if he makes this. I know, but they still get possession.
And Caloocan
gets possession, that's right.
they won't opt to use their timeout as well.
Right.
They have 1 each remaining. 78-75. This is only a 1 possession game. You got to take care of the leather if you're Caloocan. Sideline inbound for Josh Flores. They have 3 point guards on the floor. Flores gets it back. It's almost a steal by Torralba. That's what I was talking
Right,
about.
almost a good steal right there. Good deflection by Torralba. Chipped off a little bit from the clock.
One more sideline inbound for Josh Flores. He goes to Achi. Still no foul. Tayong Tong has it now with 5 seconds to go. And there it is. So Joko will be tested. And he's 2 out of 2 so far tonight.
67% free throw shooter right here.
The man of the moment for Caloocan, Batangan Kalu, can rightfully take his place by sealing this game with these 2 free throws. The first one is good with ice in his veins for Joko Tayongtong. No Jennifer Cabanag, no problem.
And that's just how Joko has been, rising to the occasion.
It's now a 2 possession game. 79-75. There has to be a miracle for Manila. Torralba will shoot. That's it. Even though that's good, it is going to be 79-78. Game number 1 belongs to Caloocan, Batangan Kalu.
That was tough for Manila. they did go down a huge part in the first half. Tried to slowly but surely inching in the third, but they really just fell short in the fourth, especially with those unsportsmanlike fouls.
Manila would finish the second half with 48 points as compared to the 36 total for Caloocan.
Right.
But they already invested well with their advantage in the first and second frames.
And it was tough to come back for Manila, but they looked poised doing that.
Just to recap, Paul Sanga wasn't able to play with a hamstring injury. Jeremy Cabanag fouled out. Ronnie Matias got ejected. But Caloocan still won it. 79-78 is our final score, brought to you by GameX. GameX Sports, the official online basketball lending partner of the MPBL. Basta ending GameX. Now, to everybody's minds, I'm sure we're all curious if in the next game, Ronnie Matias and Greg Slaughter will be eligible to play because of them being ejected in this matchup. But our best player of the game, brought to you by Daily Fantasy. Dito sa Daily Fantasy, hawak mo ang laro. It was supposed to be Jeremy Cabanag, but as he fouled out, there was a new man of the moment for Caloocan in Joko Tayungtong.
And he stepped up real big. I mean, yung production na yon ni Jeramer, tapos i-couple mo pa yung defensive stops niya, really helped get this win for Caloocan.
Joko Tayungtong, he was the best player versus San Juan. He comes alive once more in the playoffs as now we turn you over to Mika Abisamis.
Maraming salamat. Tama kayo. Kasama ko nga ang Daily Fantasy best player of this game. Walang iba kung hindi si Joko Tayungtong. Joko, ang lalaki nila, pero ang lalakas nyo rin sa larong ito. Napakaganda ng mga pinakita mo, yung games mo nung past games, at nadala mo yan dito sa playoffs, lalo na nung fourth quarter at yung mga importanteng free throws ng dulo.
Kailangan talaga namin kasi kita nyo naman, Manila, ang lalaki nila. Tapos kami, ang nasa game plan namin, tsagain lang talaga namin sila kasi wala kaming magagawa sa height kaya kailangan namin sipagin talaga.
Naging very emotional tong game na to, naging very physical, pero na-control nyo. Halos ang buong laro, sinubukan nilang bumalik ng fourth quarter pero hindi nyo sila pinayagan. Ano ang learnings mo sa game na to na madadala mo sa second game?
Pag playoffs talaga ganito, playoff game, kailangan matatag ka, dapat yung utak mo dapat compose lagi. Wag ka madala sa emotion mo. Kasi pag na-lose ka lang konti, yun ay katalo ng team namin. So, ayun, nasa isip ko lang, kailangan talaga maging compose lang.
At yan naman ang nakita namin sa'yo sa araw na to. Joko, meron ka ba mga gustong batiin at pasalamatan?
Una-una, pinasasalamatan ko ang Panginoon sa binigyan na panalo sa amin. Kay Congressman Oka Malapitan, Mayor Along Malapitan, Consi Enteng Malapitan, Boss Felix, Boss Dennis, Venom Sportswear, Yan Coolers, Stay Cool, High Top LPG. Maraming salamat kay Boss Dennis Abella sa inyong suporta. Shoutout kay Father Rowell na nasa Jerusalem. Happy birthday kay Drake and Coach Toto. Kay Boss Epay, kay Sir Ed dyan sa LTO Memaropa. And sa asawa ko, kay Amara, kay Carlos na nandyan sa bahay nanonood.
Maraming salamat. Our Daily Fantasy best player of this game is Joko Tayungtong. Sa Daily Fantasy, hawak mo ang laro. Migs and Coach Mike.
There you have it, our best player, Mr. Joko Tayungtong. Who else do you want to give shout-outs to?
Well, outside of Jeramer, I feel that Gabby Espinas was a really good connector earlier for Caloocan. You know, the way that he did those closeouts, especially defending against Gabby Espinas. You could say also the same for Ronnie Matias, hitting crucial three-pointers early in the first quarter. And really just something that Caloocan has started real strong in this first playoff game.
Espinas finishes with 6 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 steals. You know, there could have been more rebounds for them if it weren't for all the tapping that they did, which was highly effective, by the way. Because that allowed them to get control of the possessions in this game. They were able to out-rebound Manila after all. Even points in the paint to their advantage, which was our topic in the pre-game. That whoever could control the interior would have that big-time advantage. As now, we present to you the next matchup in the San Juan Knights going up against the Rizal Golden Coolers. The last time that we saw them play against each other, it reached triple overtime. The final score was 104-100 in favor of Rizal, which gave San Juan their first loss of the season. But more of that later on, as now
Coach
we
Toto,
turn you over to our press
on
conference.
your win in Game 1. Also, Gabby, congratulations sa inyo. Kuna ko lang yung reaction nyo sa resulta at sa laro ninyo ngayong araw.
Okay, mahirap yung naging game na to ngayon. Okay? Sobrang malakas yung kalaban namin. Lalo yung pati mga coaches nila. So naging composed lang talaga kami sa game namin. Kahit na momentum nila, hinabol nila yung mga lamang namin. So at least mga bata composed lang sila. Okay.
Gabi, reaction mo, marami ka na nilaro ang mga ganitong klase na mag-reaction.
Sa akin lang, before the game kasi, tinanong kami kung ano yung strength namin, which is defense talaga. So, hindi ko na muna inisip umiscore. Kailangan lang talagang ma-stop namin si Greg kasi siya yung focal point nila, di ba? So, yun, medyo, ang masama lang, na-thrown out si Ronnie, kailangan namin siyang game 2. Pero ang kagandahan naman, na-thrown out din si Greg. So, match pa rin yung laban sa game 2. Kaya, yun, mas paplantsahin pa namin yung depensa namin kasi medyo may mga nabutas pa eh. So yun, sa game 2, sana makuha na namin.
Coach, gaano kahirap tapusin itong series na to sa game?
Mahirap kasi ang nangyari, parang breaks of the game lang to eh. So close fight. Magpiprepare lang kami ng panibagong baon namin against sa next game. Okay.
Drake Day Chandu.
There you have it, game number 1 belonging to Caloocan Batang Kankalu against Manila SV Batang Sampaloc. They will travel to the San Andres Sports Complex for game number 2. And again, it will be up to our commissioner's office and our referees to decide as to whether or not Ronnie Matias and Greg Slaughter will be available for us in that second game. Thank you for joining us in game 1. For Coach Mike Perez and Mika Bisamis, my name is Migs Gomez. And up next, we have Rizal versus San Juan for our beloved Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League, ang Liga ng Bawat Pilipino.